Welcome to Smart Investing Market Insights at todaysfinancialnews.com. I'm Krista Das. As the primaries for the U.S. presidency draws to a close, American investors and businesses at the higher end of the income spectrum are considering the effects of proposed higher income taxes and mandatory cost increases. At the same time, Congress has stepped up pressure on legal tax havens, threatening to eliminate Americans' ability to protect personal and corporate assets in offshore tax havens. My guest today is Bob Bauman, legal counsel for Sovereign Society. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
So now, Bob, you're one of the most experienced experts on tax havens. And I was just wondering, with the upcoming presidential elections, what are some of the main risks that are going to happen for people who want to protect their wealth?
Well, you have to understand to begin with that under current American law that's been established for many decades, there is no particular bar or prohibition to investing offshore, having offshore bank accounts, trusts, or businesses. And over the years, politicians have found offshore American financial activity a very, very attractive scapegoat, something to attack. And they usually do it in terms of a possible tax evasion. It's secret in these tax haven countries. You don't know what they're doing. It might be drug money. So the picture that has been painted is totally at variance with the truth, because these havens serve a very real need in the international investment community, particularly now that globalism means instant investing, currency exchanges, and banking. So it's in this campaign, it's already become a minor issue because Senator Obama is one of the principal sponsors of what I view to be absolutely inane legislation that would severely restrict Americans' offshore financial rights.
Okay, so now what if, for the people that aren't super rich yet, what are some of the strategies that you would recommend for them to protect their wealth?
There was a time when offshore investing really required a great deal of money, the Rockefellers, people like that. But today, in this age when you can even invest using the internet offshore, in various funds, securities, and markets all across the world, the average investor ought to really consider making part of their estate plan, part of their financial planning, an offshore component. This not only applies to investment, but also asset protection, because the United States is one of the most litigious countries in the world. And if you get through life without being sued, you're very unusual. So if you move offshore a certain number of your assets, parts of your assets, it's much more difficult for an American plaintiff's attorney to go after them. When they find that they're located offshore, usually they're more willing to settle. So investment is good offshore. Asset protection is good, and you might even want to consider moving and living offshore. Now, a certain number of people these days are worried enough to think about that.
Now, what are some of the top offshore tax havens that you would recommend?
Well, a tax haven is a country that you really want to pay no taxes in, and there are a number of these countries still left. Panama is probably one of the leading ones with which Americans are very well acquainted. They impose no taxes on income that's earned outside of Panama. It's called territorial taxation. Monaco is another one, but that's a very high dollar jurisdiction compared to Panama. Switzerland, you can work a deal with the government there to pay a relatively low tax if you have some money and you move there and live there. Andorra, way up in the mountains between France and Spain, is another one. Belize in Central America, definitely a third world country. I hope they've paved the road from the airport by now. But they they don't impose taxes on foreigners. So there still are countries where you can, and for instance, more recently, Dubai in the Arab Emirates is another one that imposes no taxes on foreigners. So you have plenty of choices if you're looking for a country that there are no, but Americans, they get stuck. You have to pay taxes anywhere you live in the world.
So do you consider expatriation to become a popular alternative for U.S. fiscal policy?
I'm not sure how popular it will ever be, because expatriation is a very radical move. It's been called the ultimate estate plan, because the only way that an American citizen or resident alien, so-called green card holder, can escape the American tax system is to literally end their status as a green card holder or a citizen. And that means before you do that, you have to acquire a new citizenship. You have to move to a different country where there are no taxes, rearrange your entire financial affairs. And of course, there's the issue of patriotism and family. Do you really want to move away from the United States? But it is legal, it can be done, and it means an end to your tax obligations. And for people with a great deal of money, that's very attractive. So it may not be the most popular alternative, but it's one that should be considered.
Well, Bob, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for all of your insights on politics and on offshore tax havens.
Thank you.
If you would like to learn more information from Bob on protecting your wealth through offshore tax havens, you can click on this screen or go directly to todaysfinancialnews.com. That's all for this week. Until next time, here's to great profits from smart investing.
Oil prices could realistically sit as high as $73 to $74 per barrel this summer.